I think there's some things that we haven't talked about at all off camera that I think would be very interesting to like hear for the first time. So as you talked about in the first episode, I reached out to you like basically immediately.
It was that day.
Yeah. So
first day. Yeah.
So what happened was you guys said you had an announcement. I had a clue that might be bad.
We have an announcement. We're not going
Is
anywhere.
it that we were being really stoic about it? And
Yeah. And so I was about to go to the gym. I remember being like, no, I got to listen to this. I want to be the first to reach out.
Yeah.
So I remember like instead of listening to music like I normally would, I was just listening to your announcement. And like in between like lat pull downs and just being like as you can relate.
Like I feel bad. Oh God, I gotta reach out.
Yeah. And so I was basically listening to it as fast as I could.
Yeah.
And then I was literally in between sets being like, should I try and reach out and make it? Like I don't know. I don't have a plan yet.
Yeah.
And so I just said, you know what? I was like, it's either I want to add a podcast. It's either I build from scratch or I see if I can get these guys.
Yeah.
So I reached out to you and I said, hey, sucks to suck, but I might be able to help you.
Yeah, it's basically how it went. Well, one thing I want to say though real quick is that you had tried to help me get verified like 2 weeks prior.
Yeah,
which was completely random, not in a bad way.
Yeah.
But you were just being a nice human. And you're like, hey, just a heads up, because we had DM before.
Yeah.
I think obviously like dating back to Section 10, and I remember being like, oh, okay, this guy seems cool. Which Joey and I talked about in the recent pod we did of like, people need to understand the importance of just being a good hang, and just being somebody that's like, oh, he seems like a cool dude, without trying too hard. You genuinely were just like, hey, by the way, man, like if you submit and like anything that you're mentioned in an article and put that in there and phrase and make sure your email's your person. I'm like, oh, I'm going to try to do this. It didn't work because I never got real verified. I'm part of the fake verified club now. Yeah. But that honestly had a bigger impact than you might know because I knew you were cool before you sent the message the day that we had the news.
That's interesting. Yeah, because it was weird how that worked because after we talked, you followed me, and then I was like, okay, now I feel more comfortable about
and
this.
And now we're dating.
Exactly, pretty close.
Which is pretty cool.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, it's you're breaking news right now. That was interesting. That's funny that you brought that up because I kind of forgot about that now. But yeah, that was an important part of just being like, I can just reach out, whatever. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And then, I said to you literally, I was like, I'm in a good spot at Sports Illustrated, but give me a few days to come up with a plan. Yeah. Because I literally was like, I think I can help. I have no idea how I can help yet. And so I don't know if you know that, but I DM'd you with literally no idea how I was going to be able to get this done, but I was confident.
Yeah.
I could figure it out. So one thing I wanted to ask you was after that first meeting with both of you, we've been in talks with similar calls, Steve behind the camera. I'm assuming you guys immediately right after called each other after we talked and had a conversation about the first the first meeting or whatever.
Seconds later, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's exactly that's what. And I called him and I was like, I remember being in the exact same situation where me and Steve were being pitched things.
Yeah.
And we would immediately after that call would end, call each other and be like, okay, I have 3 things that I need to say right off the bat. So I'm curious how that conversation went first time.
Well, Steve has always done that. Every meeting that we ever had, even if it was a meeting with our past employer, if it was whatever, I knew I was getting the call. Getting Steve's thoughts. That conversation, I mean, I don't know what our expectations were going into it. I think we had some things lined up and we're going to talk to some people and whatever, and some of the other folks we were a little more familiar with.
Of course.
So I will be totally candid and be like, I don't know how much stock I had, and I was like, this is one of the things that we're going to do. One of the people we're going to talk to, and we'll see in whatever. Mm-hmm. And I think immediately after it rose to the top of our list.
Yeah.
And we realized how much freedom there was to gain that we hadn't had before. And we realized how much control would benefit us and how much we could really grow the show.
Yeah.
And then some of the ideas, I'm not going to get too behind the scenes here, but some of the things that you threw out, really excited us. Maybe we'll talk about that stuff off camera, but I mean, it was pretty quickly that we were like, this might be the one.
Yeah.
And then every conversation we had after that, I think you called me maybe a week later and we're like, hey, I'm thinking more about it. I think that might be the one.
Yeah. No, I think the first combo we had, because I already kind of knew you were chill, but like I needed, that Zoom was important.
Yeah.
Because like right off the bat, I'm like, oh, okay, this is someone that I could see working with.
Yeah.
And like actually enjoying working with, and we can be making cool stuff constantly. Like there's a specific nature, and I don't want to like, you know, I'm never one to throw anyone under the bus, but I feel like Joey, and correct me if I'm wrong here, like what we were doing before, it was all us. Like it was like 100% us, and like there was a little bit of help here, a little bit of help there. But in terms from our specific prior company, like I don't think I had that exact creative, like, oh, okay, you could pitch an idea that could be great. Steve could pitch an idea that's great, and we can talk about it. But there's actually some like real meat on the bone where it's like not just, yeah, well maybe you know, you figure something out when you're there, you do this, you do that. Like, I really like plan and execution and a real vision for how something's going to come together. And you sold us perfectly on that. Like, I think that was the biggest thing I came away from that meeting with was, oh, okay, like, we really, not only just creative freedom, but we're going to be able to be as loose and as authentic as we can possibly be, still get guests back like we want, like Cora, Pass, and Haim, all these guys. And yet it's going to be fully our show with support of people that know how this kind of field goes. Like, you're very well aware of what plays and what, oh, okay, this would be really good on IG. This will be like, I'll write this exact version of an article for this, and we can put that on the YouTube. That kind of stuff, I don't know, there's not, you would think that there's more people that have that exact, you know, set of skills, but it's unique, honestly. And I thought the meeting really showed that.
Yeah, I think one thing that was a strength for me was that I handled the business side of things for Inside the Red Sox.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I was a content guy. I still am a content guy. So it's like I've filmed podcasts, I've filmed videos still. I write all the time. So like I understand being hamstrung by either other people, which me and Steve experienced a lot, even while we were like back when we were in college. Like people telling us like, you know, we had visions for things that we had to get adjusted by other people, like out of our control. So that I definitely think was a huge thing for me. Is I don't like even things like the cover art or whatever. I give you my opinion, like, oh, I like this, but like at the end of the day, it's a creative decision. That's you. Like I don't want to like tell you what I think is the best route.
And you were aware of what we were doing with Section 10, and you were aware of the differences of then what Joey and I did, right? So it's like there were some similarities, some differences, but you're well aware of what our strengths are. And you're like, hey, let's target X, Y, Z. You had a plan, and when you wrote it out, gave us a doc of like, here's my thoughts, here's how it's gonna go. I'm like, all right, this kid's, you know, legit. Like there really are a lot of people that don't, it sounds so simple, but that don't like really have an idea or a plan of what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a lot of talk of like, you can tell when an idea comes up during a meeting of just, I'll only throw this out here and get some points. No, that idea sucks. Like you don't get the points if you're just throwing out BS. It's not gonna help us. It's actually gonna make us go backwards. So anytime we've met, as I lose my voice, anytime we've met in these meetings, I'm getting emotional. Anytime we met in these meetings, I'm like, oh, we're moving forward. Like everything's getting more productive. Oh, that idea is great. Oh, maybe we do this, maybe we do that. And it's like, okay, everything is continuing to go towards an even better product than we already have. So I really appreciated that.
Yeah, I think the one thing you said that was interesting was that, and again, I didn't know your side. Like right now, I didn't know, like 10 minutes ago. When you said that, like, Steve called you and like, I think this might be the one. You guys reached out to me for the second meeting. I expected fully to talk to you once, let you guys, like, for months, like, talk to other people, figure out what was best or whatever. I thought you guys were going to need way more time.
Yeah.
And then when you came in for the second meeting, first of all, at the end of it, you were like, yeah, I think we can, like, we're ready to, like, commit.
Yeah.
And I was very surprised with that. And you even showed me some, like, cover art ideas. And it had the, like, SI thing. I was like, I thought we were way further apart than we were until, like,
I will give you credit, though, because, like, I could see in your face of, like, you were a little surprised.
Totally.
No, but, like, you did a good job of covering it up. Because I could see on the wheels turning of, like, oh damn, these guys are ready to start business now.
Yeah.
Like they're like, we're ready to go now. Because initially I think the talks were like opening day maybe.
Yeah,
or like getting it ready for
yeah.
April.
Because I thought that you guys were going to want more time to pick your site, your next spot, your next landing spot. I also wanted to make it clear the first time, this isn't something I need to know from you in a week.
Yeah,
like if you want to talk to every other outlet there is before and get the best offer, go for it. Like I didn't want you guys to like lock into an offer that was going to be worse than something you could get 2 weeks later.
Yeah. But there were other things that we had discussed and other opportunities, but like this was easily the best. And I think this was something that we could realistically, without rushing, even though obviously we did rush. We did rush.
Yeah.
But without like crazy, I don't know. It never felt like it was like absurd.
Yeah.
We had built a really cool audience that was specific to what Joey and I do. And every day that passed felt like a week. So it was only 6 weeks from the end of the previous version of ITM and the current version.
Yeah.
But it felt like so much longer because it's like I need to be in this rhythm for 8 years it's been doing at least one Red Sox show every week. So for us to get it up and going, for us to realize it's going to be a lot. We have to do a lot in a short amount of time. But if we do, then we're right back to having a really cool thing.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like we're at now.
I also know you're incapable of just sitting around.
I can't do it.
Like
You alluded to that yesterday.
Yeah, there's no reality in which it was ever going to be opening day. I don't think that was ever on the table.
No.
Like there were days where I was sitting around because I'm much better at it. There were days where I was just sitting around on my phone watching, hour 7 of Red Zone and being like, I wonder what Steve is doing. And as it turns out, plotting with our graphic designer to make some cover art.
And Nate's the best, man.
Yeah.
Nate's the best, and picking his brain I love it because he's so creative, and I just like working with people that. And Joey would probably be the first to say this, that there are times that I can be, I don't want to use the word controlling, but there are times with content where I'm like, oh, let's do it this way, let's do it that way, let's do it. And I honestly want to be better at that, and I feel like I can be better with that with people that know what they're doing, and you guys know what you're doing. Like, you know how the content's supposed to look, how it's supposed to feel, and it doesn't always have to be this way. Like, it doesn't always have to be like, oh, we're doing this because X, Y, Z. Even tonight, with the Guess the Followers promo we put out, it's like, I prefer having a little bit of audio underneath, a little bit of instrumental or something. And Joe's like, I don't know, I don't think we really need it. It's like, all right, let's just do it without it. I don't know, it doesn't,
That also comes with working with people.
No, I know, yeah.
I mean, so you were aware of Section 10 before.
Yeah.
As was I. And working with, I'm totally going to inflate Steve's ego here, but like, first starting to work with somebody who you used to view as an entertainer, is an odd dynamic. It's like, I consumed your content and now you want to make it with me.
Yeah.
It puts you in a weird I'm getting choked up too.
The air is dry in here.
Puts you in a weird scenario. So I definitely think like early on there's a lot you want to just give away. You want to just say, absolutely, I've liked your stuff and whatever.
Yeah.
And Steve's also done a really great job over the last year of like letting me know like, hey, like be confident in yourself. Like you make good stuff. So I don't know if he knew that I would then turn that around on him and be like, hey, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I have.
We're not doing anything you say anymore.
Yeah.
You suck.
But I mean, that's part of the collaboration process. Like you get to know each other. And I think that first year, like gave us a really good bearing for like, or a good idea of like what each other is capable of, like and what we each bring to the table and knowing like each other's little tendencies and whatever. And I don't know, man, I just feel like we're taking the training wheels off. I really do.
No, big time. And we can, like I said, we can say whatever we want. We can say crap now.
We can say poop.
We can say poop and friggin'. And we have in the first 2 episodes of the new version of ITM.
Good. Yeah, that's.
We might have to go back and bleep them now.
Yeah, the second one I'd have to see.
Okay.
Get
some clarification.
Let
us know.
Yeah, you just did that, but I noticed that he said he didn't want to use the word controlling by himself. Would you like to use that word?
No.
Controlling's a strong word.
The word I would use is Steve's very particular.
Yes.
And I think I've used it before with Steve. I think I've said it before, like, you know how you want things. It's very
annoyingly particular.
He's like, I won't use annoyingly.
No. What I'd say is a pain in my ass. No, I mean, I think it's particular, but I also think, like, it's worked, and it's like, when you work with somebody who is successful, it's like, well, why would I want to change what they do when what they do works? And there's a balance between like that idea and then also like, hey, I got some stuff I want to bring to the table too.
Yeah.
No, I think I would absolutely not use the word controlling. I would say.
Yeah, no, I just wanted like a JV version of that, like I don't know, particular is the right way to put it. I know I can be picky about certain things.
Steven's
like,
stupid rules.
Exactly, my dad calls them Steven's stupid rules,
right.
so that's what they are. Shout out Alan.
Yeah, I met him multiple times. Big fan of me.
He loves you. Yeah. And Joey's dad loves you too.
Yeah, they're both.
We should make that shirt. Dads love Scott. Imagine a random person getting that shirt. That's the dumbest shirt.
Just being perfect. Like, it just goes to, like, Scott markets, where it's just people named Scott buy these shirts.
The only reason you did this was just for Scott shirts.
Yeah.
Like, we want your product to just be Scott.
Yeah, a wide net, they call it.
Yeah. One thing I will say, going way back, was when you were talking about how, me being surprised by the second meeting, you ready to be like, yeah, let's just sign a deal. And I don't even have it written yet. I was like, I didn't
you
expect
came
that.
up with that quick. You wrote that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying efficiently, like, it wasn't like the deal, it wasn't like there's a bunch of typos. Like,
yeah.
it was a good
I
job.
hope not. Yeah. Legal binding contract.
30-year deal?
Yeah. Yeah, but I will say, I did feel like the momentum was going that direction. I remember saying, like, I think I got a pretty good shot here. Not knowing at all what my competition was. Like, I had no idea who else you were talking to. Still don't.
ESPN, CBS, I mean, they were all knocking on our door. But
Inside the Red Sox /
100%.
SI, obviously.
It was Scotty Nebbs. It was, honestly, like, we can joke about it, but the efficiency in which you handled everything was the top reason why we're here now.
Yeah,
100%.
I like to do that thing where I just obsess over one thing and then I just...
But I could tell you were obsessed, but but in a good way. It was like, oh, he's gonna make this good. He's not just like, hey, like hop on and then I'm just gonna benefit from you guys doing your thing. Like, no, you're gonna be a part of it, which is good.
Hands on, here, obviously San Diego. But yeah, I did notice that after that meeting, like maybe a day later, Joey followed me, which apparently I didn't follow you back. It's my bad.
No, that's all right. I
That's
didn't
brutal.
think about it. That's fine.
Yeah, no, I rectified it later.
Yes.
But then I noticed Nate followed me too.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, well, that feels like a weird thing to do if you guys had no interest whatsoever.
Yeah.
Right, so Nate gave it away.
That'd be a hell of a move by Nate. Like, we're gonna trick him and think that we're doing
because kind of he did, because like you following me could have been like we met after like virtually, at least, like that happens in especially this industry. I was also wondering if there was, I know you kind of alluded to it, so I guess maybe it's the first meeting, but was there one point where you guys were like, we're pretty sure, like, this is the one? Or, I mean, you kind of decided in, like, you had questions in the second meeting. You didn't have time to talk about it individually before you just said, like, yeah, I think we're good to go. But was there a moment? I know you came with a couple
Was
questions.
there a moment?
Yeah, I think so. I think we had talked, because... Again, I'm only gonna peel back the curtain.
That's our phrase. Peel back.
But there was like two finalists in our head.
Yeah.
And the other one, we like when me and Steve talked about we think this is the one. Like, we think we're gonna do like Scotty Neves, go with SI, Inside the Red Sox, and then we're like, let's wait like 1 second, let's have like one more conversation here and see where things go. Like, let's not like just kick it to the curb just yet. It was almost like let's give them their shot.
Yeah.
But like, we probably already have our mind made up. And then a couple days later, me and Steve were like, hey, I think this is what we're doing, right? Like, should we just like schedule a time to talk to him?
Yeah.
And I think we, without saying it, we both knew like, hey, when we talk to Scotty again, we're gonna say, let's go through that.
And the nature of you being all in and obsessed in a good way about this being good, I think there's always going to be like compare and contrast of, oh, well, with this company it would be XYZ, with that it would be this, that, the other thing. The first thing you need is people have to be all in. Like, they have to care and not just be like, go have fun, do your thing, and then we'll just check out the number. Like, you need to be committed. And not enough people, and I've said this for a long time, understand all the little details that you have to do to make something that matters. Yeah. And it's I see it all the time, where my least favorite phrase is like, oh, everyone has a podcast. Yeah, well, 98% of them suck.
Yeah.
And they don't have quote cards. They don't have the right production for the promo videos. They don't consistently release the same day and get good guests and market their show and really spread the word. There's so many things you have to do.
Pitching previews.
And have pitching previews.
Yes,
and weather updates.
And pitching previews.
And also weather updates. And like, so they just don't have
Pavetta's from every single
exactly.
time.
There's never a question about it.
Yeah.
He is still from Canada, so
always has been.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a lot of layers that go into it, and we could tell that you were ready to embrace that.
Yeah, and that was interesting. Like, you talking about not being as aware of my like Inside the Red Sox. That started September 13th. So like that was, but I mean we're already over 1 million a month, like page views, written views,
You're crushing it.
and I don't know. I think we had 700 on the Pedro interview, 700,000 video.
Yeah, he was good.
That was silly. Yeah. I did interview Pedro, not to brag. Whatever.
He was a good pitcher.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
You said about Sandra Bullock?
He wants to be friends. He wants to be friends
A couple
with her.
people said some things. Did you think when we got to the winter meetings that when you met me and Steve, were you like, maybe this was a mistake?
No, I gotta say, so first impressions, I mean, you're honestly, I think, exactly what I expected. You don't, but this is, and I wish more people did this, like, you're not trying to be a thing on a Zoom. A lot of people in meetings are a different thing than they are as like a person, and I think that just sets you up for failure. Because now that we're getting further and further from COVID, it's like, you can't be this Zoom meeting thing that you can't back up in person, and I don't think you're like that at all. Now, I didn't know Steve at all.
No.
So Steve could have been, when you're like, oh, my buddy's like good at XYZ, I'm like, yeah, we all have a buddy that's good at this, that, the other thing. I'm like, I gotta see this in person. Yeah, you're like, he actually sucks at everything.
Yeah.
But he's a PH.
Nodding right now.
No, I know. He's a PH, which is very concerning. But I've gotten to know him,
Steven PH. In case...
I was thinking like pH balance or something, not PhD.
I thought that was obvious, but we're both Steves. He's a PH. That normally is a whole thing. But nice, he's a chill dude and told that Pepsi coffee story. And I like how...
I like him for the story that happened.
No, but I'm just saying the delivery. I was like, he delivered that story well. You set it up well, and then it was like the punchline. And it's not like it was... I hope this wasn't all made up the whole time. That would be terrible.
No, I was there.
It's like that would actually happen. But no, you guys, you check the box of being cool in person, which I think sometimes happens less than you'd expect from the work Zoom meeting to then having like a in-person thing. It's like, this person's a little different, but you guys are cool.
It's good.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. We met you outside. You guys were trying to edit a video, and we had just got there, had really nothing to do at this point, and we're like, I don't know where this is gonna go. And then you guys sat down, I was like, I feel like we should just leave them alone and let them edit this video. And then you were like, you guys want to get food? And I was like, I wasn't sure if that was gonna come. And then I think the biggest thing was when you started talking to every single person in the meetings, and then me and Joey were just talking on the side.
Was I talking to that many people?
I think that you were there, because my move usually is to pretend I have something going on my phone.
Yeah.
In those times.
Yeah.
Steve's a connected guy. Steve likes people, talks to people.
That was a lot of people in a lot of time.
It was a lot of people in a row.
Yeah.
And I mean, I like people as much as the next guy, don't get me wrong, but I mean, you got another tank than I do.
Yeah.
You've got a reserve tank of I'm just going to talk to folks.
Yeah.
Whereas I got a small, narrow view of a small tunnel of people that I'm concerned with.
One of my favorite Joey things by far is I've gotten to get to know him a little better over the last year, is that if Joey is done with the social situation, he's gone. He's out. There's been a couple, and I'm not saying this is a negative. Yeah. I respect it because we all have that amount of juice in the tank of I can't do anyone, but you're not obvious with it. You're actually pretty sneaky smooth
subtle
with it. Yeah, very subtle. Where it becomes oh, where's Joey? And it's just assume they just went to go. Yeah, but it's not rush out. It's a really good Irish goodbye, actually, in a weird way.
I'm pretty good at that. And then the other thing is if my tank will get empty and somebody keeps talking, I'll just be I don't want to talk to you anymore. I'll get a little mean. So the move has been do the Irish goodbye so that I'm not oh my God, why are we still talking?
Yeah.
But which is great for networking in a place like this.
No, I know. I mean, these are big. These are big networking events. This All-Star, there's a good handful of them, but it's luckily I've been able to meet a lot of people in the industry that I respect. There's a good bunch that I don't. You avoid those people, but
you talked about that a little bit.
Yeah, that stuff definitely stays off camera. But no, I mean it's that's why we're here. We get content and schmooze.
Mostly the second, but yeah. That's definitely true. This one's from Steve. This is the second to last point. The last one will be real quick. And this is, I think, a perfect Steve question. You can let me know if you still like Steve after this one. Given the four of us, and this one you probably know what I'm going to say here. After Zayn Malik's departure, if you had to make the four of us into One Direction members, who is who? And that could be either.
Okay. No, Joey, take that.
All right. Here's the thing: it's hard not to say Harry for you when I'm looking at you and you got the locks and whatever.
You're talking about me.
Yeah, I'm talking about
That's
you.
interesting.
But
Because
here's
Steve's got
the
some
thing. Okay,
blocks.
so
He's got some flow.
I'm not
he's
even
got
thinking
some
about
flow.
Steve, to be honest. I thought you were saying after Zane's gone.
Yeah, so there's 4.
Okay. All right. Nah. Steve reeks of Nile. I mean, Steve's probably our Harry. He's our front man.
Steve P?
Yeah.
This is also
Stevie P.
confusing now because
Yeah,
we're
that's
saying
a
Steve.
mess.
Yeah.
What are they going to play basketball for? We're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
The name.
All I know is I don't know the other members of One Direction.
That's why I tossed to you because I know Harry
I thought I
Styles.
did, but that was kind of it.
Yeah,
There's
we're all Harry.
Liam.
Liam, Niall, Harry, and there's definitely a fourth one.
Louis.
Zane.
Louis. No, Zane's
Louis.
dead already at this
Right,
point.
Zane's dead.
Ringo.
He left. And Ringo.
Ringo.
Yeah, that's the 5th member that we don't talk about.
Oh.
Okay, so you didn't answer that question, but I'm surprised. I thought you had that one.
Would you think I was gonna just anoint myself Harry and call it a day?
No, I thought you were gonna give 4 people because like you're that you don't know your One Direction the way. We'll work on it.
Well,
We'll get there.
So Liam went on to have a solo career,
Yep.
right? So we'll make me Liam,
Oh, so you're
and
leaving.
then one day,
Okay.
probably like next.
It's already saying I'm
Yeah.
doing my own
We'll
thing.
move on to my own thing probably
Yeah.
like next
Yeah.
month. Yeah.
I've been meaning to talk to you about that.
Well, Joey can very easily, he does his own thing a lot. Like, he was here before we got here. He's going to
True.
be here after I'm here.
Yep.
Joey's good at doing his own thing.
I've got so much content you guys don't know about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got my own vlogs. I'm already ready to go. Watch out.
The last thing, that was obviously a great question. I don't want to end on that one though. I think we should emphasize the importance of Manscaped promo codes in our existences.
Big time.
Which I know you just ripped off like a huge ad read you told me right before on the last pod. But I definitely just want a chance to like put like a lower third of like the promo code and let them know that like if you want Joey to not be homeless, which was discussed today.
Yeah.
Joey.
It's also an option. It's a possibility.
Yeah, it's on the table.
Yeah.
You should use those codes and maybe like send them to any of us, so that they're not homeless.
Yeah.
Yeah. DM it to the podcast.
ITM_pod. Yeah. Use promo code ITM for 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com.
Yeah.
I mean, we were just talking about the ball deodorant.
Right before.
Oh
Yeah.
my. Yeah. Like actually before we
No,
started
it's very
off
true.
camera,
I was
came
already
in and
on
was
the
like,
couch.
Yo,
Yeah.
if you haven't used that stuff works. I said this on the pod too. People are gonna start to be like, does this guy not shower? Like, is he just relying on
All you do
Manscaped?
is ball deodorant.
This guy loves ball deodorant.
Doesn't shower.
Listen,
just
I don't
sprays it
know
on.
if once you get used to like you cashing prizes smelling nice,
Yeah.
it's like a whole nother
prizes.
ball.
I've never
game. Your downtown bonanza isn't it's taken care of. You're like, oh man, I feel like a new man.
Yeah, I gotta say I didn't know ball deodorant existed until they sent us those packages, but
It's very
it
impressive.
definitely does. Yeah, that was just a big thing. Is don't let Joey be homeless and use the promo code. Oh, and
Hashtag don't let Joey be homeless. That's a good one.
And your balls will thank you, as they say.
ITM.
Yeah.
Promo code. Boom.
And that's really it. I think this
All right.
is
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Thank you for doing this. You know what? If I could make a small suggestion, let's go out in San Diego.
Yeah.
You guys want to go to San Diego?
Let's go to San Diego.
All right.
Let's do it.